Okay, what up with it? Shamel G. Hollywood tapping in. Now, the judges' scorecards are in, and we got the final verdict to that good old Zip with the Drip and Hassan Campbell battle that's been going on. Okay? And I gotta keep it a thou wow. I gotta tell you what the judges' scorecards really say, regardless of how I feel. And the final verdict on that battle is, it's a draw. It's a draw. I have to explain to you all why. Zip, off the top, let me address Zip. You fought valiantly. Let me start off by saying that. You didn't do bad at anything. The fact-checking job you did on him with the chat GPT, it was an amazing angle. You know how I know it was an amazing angle? I used the angle myself. Back on my video, Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Don't. Right? Now, I used the whole AI to show that you, Zip the Drip, were beating Hassan Campbell. Did I or did I not? So you know I agree with the strategy, right? But I'm going to tell you what made it a draw. I'm going to tell you where he beat you at, Zip. The entertainment value. I told you, get your jokes out. Bring your jokes. I've seen you be funny, Zip. I've seen you be entertainingly funny. I'm telling you this from a consumer's perspective, from a total stranger who watches you guys on his 65-inch TV in his bedroom for entertainment. No politics, entertainment. Right? He was more entertaining. We don't watch Hassan Campbell for facts. He's not a reputable reference point for pretty much anything. All right? It's like, what discredits him, in my opinion, is the way he came in. You know, that story is, to some people, is sketchy. Okay. So it doesn't mean that he's not worthy of watching. Like I said, there's a thing called entertainment. You understand? If I go watch a Cat Williams or Kevin Hart comedy show, I don't believe the stories that they're telling. They're just funny. You get it? So Hassan won the entertainment value by a landslide. I'm going to give like little dumb shit he would say, Zip. Like when he says how the cat jumped out the bathroom, the first thing I'm sitting there thinking, right? Ramadan is over. You know what that means. Ramadan is over. So I'm in a laughing space, right? The man said the cat jumped out the bathroom. I'm thinking, why the hell did the cat jump out the bathroom? Why didn't he just walk out like a regular cat? So now I'm picturing this goddamn cat jumping out the bathroom. The man done turned your cat to a goddamn rabbit or kangaroo or some shit. I'm cracking up laughing at the fact that the cat jumped out the bathroom. You understand what I'm saying? You have the talent, Zip. You have the ability. You just chose to use the angle of I'm going to beat him by disproving everything he said, which, like I said, was a great angle, but it just lacked in terms of entertainment in comparison to what he did. I'm not saying yours wasn't entertaining at all. I'm saying it lacked in entertainment in comparison to his. His wasn't about fact. It wasn't about fact. It was about trying to get up on that screen and destroy you. With like you said, it could be slander, it could be jokes, it could be whatever. But for the moment, at that point in time when a person is watching, they're entertained. It's just the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? You have to take yourself outside of yourself and think about the guy who's in Delaware or Virginia or something and doesn't know anybody, doesn't know any of you guys. Doesn't care about anybody's personal background, anything. That's just what he wants to watch on his TV. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I try to think from that perspective at times. But I think it was a great battle. It was great entertainment. For those of you who are fans of either of those guys, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but just me reacting to their videos. It benefits their channel. Okay? Me hashtagging them boosts them in the algorithm as well. All right? So, I mean, like I said, it was a great show. Like I said, Hassan won round one. Zip came back with an amazing round two, but it wasn't enough to knock Hassan out. You have to knock the champion out. Like I said, Zip, I'm in agreement with you about you. I don't have to tell you I'm in agreement. You've seen it. I'm not going to say you got that from me because, you know, sometimes people think the same things. You know, everything isn't always a stolen thought or idea. Sometimes people just think the same things. You feel me? But I showed that the AI with Charles' numbers and who's actually leading in comparison to you, him, and Jawbone. Right? I showed that. But like I said, you did good with the fact proving points and disproving certain things. But like I said, the entertainment value matters too. It's part of the reason why I even engage in certain acts, entertain certain things. Like I said, I dropped one of the most important videos that anybody who watches in this sector needs to see earlier today. And when I dropped it, I knew it would get the least amount of views of any video I've put up lately because nobody wants to hear that. People don't come here in this sector to learn. They don't come here for spiritual growth. They come here for entertainment. You got to keep that in mind, Zip. So like I said, you did your thing with the fact checking. It was a great job, but it wasn't enough to slay the dragon. As it goes in boxing, if you don't beat the champ, you don't get the belt. You don't get the belt. You got to knock him out. And I think you can do it. I told you, I started to put on my Coach Calvin outfit before I made this video. You know, you see my Coach Calvin outfit the other day? You know, so I could train you. It don't mean you're not a champ already, Zip. It don't mean you're not a champ already, but sometimes even champs, they got to step their trainer game up, you know? Yeah, but had you threw some humor in there because you are notorious, Zip. I didn't do time with you guys. I did my time in another state. But you're a notorious gate monster. So that means you have to have a formidable sense of humor. And you chose not to put that talent on display. You chose to technically break down everything he said and disprove him and present that as your rebuttal. Like I said, it was great work, but it was lacking in the entertainment value. So I got to give it a draw. And Hassan retains his belt. Don't worry, y'all. He's not going to have it for long. I'm coming. I got a trick up my sleeve. I'm going to make a jump pretty soon. Well, the WBA, WBC, and IBF is going to have to sanction me and put me in that ring. And then all the people going to see what happens when Hassan gets in that ring with me. All the people going to see what happens. But until then, Zip, man, keep working. You know, like I said, you fought valiantly, but draw.